Hello, my name is Ray Green. I'm doing my research paper on persuading individuals and groups. So, persuasion has never been simplistic nor easy. It has a lot of complexities and wide varieties of things that you can use or strategies that you can use to persuade an individual and a group. Just from a couple of studies or three studies that I focused on, two of them which use Cialdini's method that uses the persuasive strategies of authority, reciprocation, scarcity, liking, commitment, and consensus. And then a study that was formed at the University of Washington's Health School found they used eight different persuasive strategies, which were authoritative and non-authoritative, cooperative and competitive, extrinsic and intrinsic, negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement. And then the last study focused on collectivists or groups, which also use Cialdini's method as well. So to first focus mostly on Halko and Kainz's study, this was the group that used or they tried to compare or tried to pair the people in the big five, which they called the big five of personality traits, and the five were neuroticism, consciousness, agreeableness, extroversion, and openness. So the study found that authoritative and non-authoritative paired well with people who are in the openness group. And then they found that cooperative and competitive are paired well with the personality trait of people who are consciousness, who fall under consciousness, and people who fall under agreeableness as well. And then the extrinsic and intrinsic persuasive strategies worked well with the openness group. And then negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement aligned well with individuals that were with the extroversion group. And then for Rita Ora's study, she found out, and whoever was helping her as well, found out that individuals within a certain community shown to be more responsive to reciprocity and commitment. And the reason why they found this out to be is because when they responded to the persuasive strategy of reciprocity, is because that group is more obligated to give back a favor to a fellow tribe member or a fellow community member, a brother, a sister, just a family member, or anyone within that community. And then compared to just individuals were more just focused on most of themselves and didn't feel the same norm to do that as well, just based on the culture. And then the reason why this is because in Rita Ora's study, the the group that she focused on were people were Asian people compared to North American people who were just labeled as individualists, whereas the Asians were labeled as groups slash collectivists. And then with um, here it is. With Alkis and Temenza's group, um, this is the group that focused on Cialdini's method as well. And they asked a series of questions that would put them into, or that would place people into um, just to figure out what personality trait and then which uh, persuasive strategy to follow up with as well. So with that group, they found out that um, they found out that Oh, I already talked about this. Oh, my bad. I'm getting lost in my notes. Excuse me. Oh, the one I didn't talk about yet was Kites and Halko's study. So this study from the University of Washington and the Health School, there was only about 240 participants within this online survey, and they used technology to try to persuade the people into the Big Five as well. So for this one, they revealed that a number of significant relationships between personality and the persuasive technologies went hand in hand also, which was just kind of the common theme that I got from my research. So in conclusion, it basically just showed that these studies, based off the studies, showed that various personality types um, need various persuasive strategies, and those were the most successful for just individuals. Um, So, for example, like in Halko and Kinesis study, after placing individuals into a personality category like openness, they found out that authoritative and non-authoritative people were more persuaded by that type of strategy. Whereas Rita Ora's study with groups, people were more responsive, or um, the group was more responsive to commitment and reciprocity. So the difference between individuals and groups is that when it comes to individuals, they're the most complex people to persuade, and that groups and collectivists are more easier and more likely to be persuaded when it comes to trying to persuade them with persuasive strategies. And then in that same study that Rita Orji completed, showed that uh, out of the out of the six persuasive strategies, four persuasive strategies, which were commitment, reciprocity, consensus, and I can't remember the last one, were um, were more successful compared to just individuals, which also goes to prove that groups are more likely to be persuaded rather than individuals. And then some would say, and from the research shown, is that individuals are have less outside voices um, speaking in and influencing their own thinking, or the ways that they uh, or the way that they think and the way that they are persuaded, and altering how they would respond to a person trying to persuade them, or um, change the way that they think. And yeah.